Plenary.
Girl, you make me so. Girl, you make me so. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I please request you to settle down? We wouldn't want you to miss this spectacular afternoon.
That's after the entire dialogue. Huh? Yeah, I guess this is not gonna. Might as well start.
Every one of us wears a mask, not to deceive, but to survive. A mask shaped by what others expect, what we fear, what we hide. We wear it so often that sometimes we forget what lies beneath. Tonight, you will meet a learner, not a particular student, not one person, but perhaps a little bit of all of us. A learner growing up amidst voices that praise, judge, compare, and tell us who we should become. And with every voice comes another mask.
And tonight, Empyrean School presents the journey of this learner,
Through the faces we wear,
the roles we play,
the voices we carry,
and the self we might discover underneath. The masks are inspired by Commedia dell'arte, the scholar, the miser, the servant, the fool. Characters on the surface, but beneath them, identities we borrow to belong. And as the learner moves through this world, reality begins to shift. Stairways lead nowhere, like the impossible worlds of M.C. Escher. Walls bend and breathe, inspired by Antoni Gaudi. Because this is not really a place, it is a mind caught between who we are, who others might want us to be, and who we fear we might become. Along the way, anima and animus emerge, not to save the learner, but as quieter, deeper voices that surface when everything falls silent.
beneath the masks and expectations, Jung believed there was the self, whole, quiet, already there. Not something to create, something to discover. So tonight, look beyond the masks. Listen for the question every learner must eventually ask alone.
Who am I?
When no one is telling me who to be.
Wow. Well, that's of how we're beginning the closing plenary. I think we're all in for something rather special.
And what a wonderful reminder of their talent, creativity, and limitless potential. Let's hear it once again for the students that have just performed from the Imperial School.
What we just witnessed was not simply the journey of one learner, but a reflection of all of us who have, at some point, tried to become who others expect us to be. The masks represented the roles we take on: the successful student, the obedient child, the confident friend, the person who always seems to have it together.
And the journey was about confronting those expectations, removing the layers, and finding the person beneath. And perhaps the question we leave you tonight is very simple. When all the masks come off, do we really know who we are?
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the closing plenary of the 10th Annual IC3 Conference and Expo. I would like to start by introducing my co-host. Devesh Anand is the Regional Director for South Asia and Middle East at the University of Birmingham, bringing with him over a decade of experience in the UK higher education. Having previously represented the University of Bristol in South Asia, he has worked extensively across student recruitment, partnerships, stakeholder engagement, and research collaborations. An alumnus of IIM Calcutta and the University of Westminster, he is also passionate about the social impact and serves as a trustee of the Rahat Charitable Trust, supporting educational initiatives for the underprivileged community.
Thank you, Shika, and very good afternoon, everyone. It's also my great pleasure to introduce you to someone who I deeply admire. Shika Singh is the head of career counseling at the JBCN International School in Mumbai, with over 10 years of experience in the education sector and university admissions. Prior to joining the JBCN, she served as the head of career guidance at the Cathedral and John Connon School, where she led a comprehensive university counseling program and guided students to successful admissions at some of the world's leading universities.
Thank you, Devesh. Over the past 2 days, we've explored how education continues to evolve. We've challenged assumptions, shared best practices, celebrated innovations, and perhaps most importantly, we've reminded ourselves that while the world around us continues to change, our mission remains the same: to help every student find direction, purpose, and a future they can truly call their own.
And as we reflect on that mission, it is worth remembering that sometimes the most powerful stories of direction, purpose, and possibility are found not just in textbooks or in lecture halls, but in the extraordinary journeys that begin with a single dream. And that, with the right opportunity, a young person can literally reach for the stars. And so, as we move to our keynote, we have the privilege of hearing from someone whose own journey embodies the spirit of ambition, courage, and possibilities.
Our keynote speaker, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, astronaut, Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, India, is an accomplished Indian Air Force officer, experimental test pilot, and astronaut. Born in Lucknow in 1985, his journey into aerospace began with his selection to the National Defense Academy straight out of school, an early sign of his drive and independence. Commissioned into the IAF in 2006, he trained on the MiG-21 Bison and flew operational missions from key frontline bases.
His exceptional flying skills and leadership earned him a commendation in 2009, and later, selection into the prestigious Fighter Combat Leader course at the TACDE, where he graduated as Best in Flying. In 2018, he became a qualified test pilot from the ASTE and expanded his expertise through an exchange program at the Edward Air Force Base in the US, where he flew the F-16. The following year, he was selected by ISRO as one of India's first astronaut trainees under the Gaganyaan program, completing foundational training at Russia's Gagarin Cosmonaut Center. In 2025, Group Captain Shubhanshu flew to the International Space Station as a primary pilot for the AXIM Mission 4, becoming the first Indian to conduct scientific research in microgravity on board the ISS.
In recognition of his leadership and courage during the mission, he was conferred the Ashoka Chakra, India's highest peacetime gallant award, by President Draupadi Murmu on 26 January 2026. Alongside his astronaut career, he is pursuing his master's at the Indian Institute of Science. Currently based in Bangalore with his family, he continues to contribute to India's defense and space programs as a symbol of excellence, innovation, and national pride. It is our immense pleasure to invite our keynote speaker, and we couldn't have asked for a more fitting person to challenge us to look up. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla.
Good evening, everyone. See, I'm used to launching to space on top of a rocket, which really takes a lot of energy. And I can do some with you all indicating it to me that you are also full of energy. So let us try again. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, that is much better. If the last row can hear me, can you please raise your hands? Fantastic. So clearly, the people who were introducing me definitely make me look better than I really am. So thank you to the comparers who were standing here and introducing me. I'm very glad to be here today in front of all of you and happy to share my journey with you. Even before I launched for this mission last year from Cape Canaveral, Florida, I was contemplating on a question that kept coming back to me, that what should this mission mean? It took us almost 41 years to go back to space. The first Indian astronaut went in 1984, and it took us a lot of time to send another to space. So definitely it should not be one-off. It should mean something, it should result in something. And that question kind of led me to what I'm trying to do today. That if we can create more opportunities, if we can create more people who get interested in space exploration, who get interested in this field, and who travel to space now, I think that would be the real success of a mission like mine. So I'm here to share this journey with you today. And what I will do is, I don't have a lot of time. I have to catch a flight back to my place. But what I would like to do in this little time that I have is share my journey with you and also try to derive some lessons which I feel are very, very important for us, even in day-to-day lives. Not a lot, just 3 lessons for each phase of mission. We will look at that and also see how things happen when you leave the planet and travel outside. So let me start with a small movie or small clip of what my mission meant. We were a crew from 4 very different countries who came together to make a mission, a common mission, successful. So let us watch this movie, which will give you a glimpse of what it entailed during the training and the journey, and thereafter we'll move on to the specifics of the mission.
When I think or feel about having the flag on my left shoulder, I just want Hungarian people to know that we did this. We were able to achieve this. And it completely doesn't matter for me who is in the suit. I am proud, but I just want them to be proud as well.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift off.
For 3 nations, a new chapter in space takes flight. Godspeed, Expo.
feeling? Great.
It's an amazing feeling to be in orbit for the first time. When I looked out through the window for the first time, the view was just stunning.
Wow, what a ride it was. But when the ride started, it was something. Like you're getting pushed back into the seat. It was an amazing ride. And then suddenly, nothing. It was an amazing feeling.
We also wanted to thank you for, basically, thanks for everyone around the world, and every person, every team who made this beautiful day happen.
Grace crew, welcome aboard the International Space Station. Peggy, welcome back. It's a great honor and privilege to have such a legendary astronaut on board with us. And Thibaut, Shooks, and Swab, congratulations on your first space flight.
Thank you to all participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.
I travel to space with the dreams of a billion hearts with me. I want them to live this journey with me because I feel that it is equally theirs as it is mine. Because I feel that this is truly the journey of an entire nation.
And look where we can go when we work together on common platform, common science, then sky is no longer the limit. We can explore space, we can explore science, we can explore technology and build new solutions for the future.
The X4 crew came here with a purpose and a really busy agenda. This was a great mission and we enjoyed it the most. So now we will return home and we will spread the word in our countries that these things are within our reach. These things are possible even for smaller countries like ours.
It's always great to work with a bunch of professionals, which you are, but it's even more special to work with folks that have become our friends even more deeply. Thank you.
Thank you to the Axiom 4 crew. And we have splashdown of the AX4 crew back on planet Earth.
Welcome home.
Oh, I think it's really important to have these examples of people to show the new young generation that actually there are no boundaries. Your dreams, your careers, and your lives have no limits. This is what you dream of, then you can pursue.
So, in a very concise form, this is what the journey entailed. People traveling to US for a period of 1 year, training together, and then flying to space for a period of 20 days. But for these 20 days, it took me 5 years of training before I could fly for these 20 days. So if I have to start with something, the lesson that I would like to give all the educators and the children who are sitting here, that the mundane is really very important to get to the exciting. Those 20 days demand 5 years of time. So if you are working on something, if you are putting in energy or putting in efforts towards something, it takes time, but you will eventually reach there. But that time is very, very important for you to get to the exciting. Before I move on to the journey itself, what I would like to share with you is the change in perspective that you get when you travel outside the planet. And I remember this very distinctly. It has been documented. It is known as the overview effect, which astronauts experience when they travel outside the planet. And it can manifest itself in many forms. But the feeling that I had, the change in perspective that I got was, when you look at Earth, you feel that this is home. Earth is home. That is home. Not a particular place, not a region, not a country, but Earth, that is our home. And it is a very, very strong feeling. Because if you look at this, this is the view that you get when you are sitting in the window and you're looking back at Earth. It's very difficult to, you see a blue planet with white clouds. That is what you see. And you are from the outside looking inside. And that is exactly the feeling that you get, that this belongs to you and all the other people who are there on that planet. But let us move on to each aspect of the mission. As I promised, I will share with you the journey and I will also try to derive a lesson out of it. You all saw the launch, the rocket lifting up, right? It looks beautiful, doesn't it? It looks great when a rocket launch is happening. But I can assure you, when you're sitting inside that rocket, it doesn't feel as beautiful. it is, it is really violent and it is really chaotic sitting inside. And in those few moments, it takes about 8.5 minutes for you to reach the orbit. That is from an altitude of 0 kilometers to about 200 kilometers. It also takes 8.5 minutes for you to go from 0 kilometers per hour to 28,500 kilometers per hour. That is the kind of acceleration you navigate within these 8.5 minutes. And these are not just numbers, you feel it. And rocket launch was probably the most dynamic of all the phases in this entire mission. I was just taken by surprise, like I was blown away. I actually forgot everything that I knew in those first few seconds because it was something so powerful and it just surprised me. The scale of it, the sheer powerful nature of that entire rocket launch. When you're getting launched, when you are climbing up, you experience those acceleration, you experience the G-forces which act on your chest. Your chest gets compressed, your lungs get compressed, you cannot breathe. It is difficult for you to breathe. And every part of your body feels it. It is natural for you to be scared, for you to be anxious. What if something goes wrong? What if something doesn't work as it is supposed to? That thought always pops up. So let me show you how it feels, when you are sitting in that rocket. And before I play, can we reduce the volume? The next video, the volume will be very high. Can you reduce it? So let me show you how it feels when you're sitting inside. And then I will come to the lesson that I want to give you for this phase. Is it low? So this is the video that I'll show is of the training, not of the actual launch. But this is how you feel when you're sitting in the rocket. You will see my face getting pushed, lungs getting compressed. You'll see I have difficulty in breathing. So what you saw when you're sitting inside, you're experiencing this G. So at 8 GX, it becomes 8 times more difficult for you to raise your hand. It becomes 8 times more difficult to lift your hand because they are that heavy. You have difficulty breathing, your chest is compressed, your lungs are compressed. So your training prepares you for these scenarios. But the lesson that I wanted to derive from this particular part of the mission was that in moments like these, it is natural for you to be anxious. It is natural for you to be scared. And there can be many parallels that we draw from such scenario to our own lives, wherein we get anxious, we get scared. And in that moment, what we do, how we train is that you focus on what you can do now. You focus in the present. You focus what is in my control right now, which button I have to press, what is the next checklist item, what is the next thing that I have to look at. And one by one, if you keep doing that, within 8 minutes, you are in the orbit. You reach the environment of space, and you realize that the situation is over. You will also face many overwhelming situations in your life wherein you will be scared. Focus on the now. Get back to the present. What can you do in the moment? What is under your control at this point of time? And if you keep doing that one step at a time, you will find that you are out of it, the situation is done, and there is no anxiousness anymore. So carry that back with you at the end of the phase 1. So I'm quickly going to, there is a lot that I would like to talk about space to you, but because of paucity of time, I'm going to quickly run over a few things. When you get to the environment of microgravity, that is in space, it is very liberating. It breaks the chain of how you think about things. it is a lot of fun, to be very honest. It is a great fun to be in space for the first time because you can do a lot of things which were never possible for you. Like for me, I wanted to be a gymnast when I was in school. I tried to learn gymnastics, but I was not very good at it. But I'm an exceptional gymnast in space. And all of you are as well. If you decide to go to space tomorrow, you would be a great gymnast in space because nothing is there to stop you. It is just your imagination that allows you to do things that you want to do, and you only have to start. And then you are a world-class gymnast in space. When you reach the environment of microgravity, your body reaches there, but your mind, it still lingers. It is still on Earth. It carries the memory of your experiences that has shaped you while you were on Earth. And it takes some time to get used to this new environment while you are up there. The concept of space changes. We are sitting in this hall, in this three-dimensional hall, but all of us are sitting on chairs. I'm standing on the stage. Everybody is walking on floor. None of you is hanging by the ceiling or hanging by the wall or floating in the suspended air in between. And that is how you think when you reach space initially, at least in the initial few days. Only over a period of days, you realize that it is possible to use this space very, very differently. The other interesting thing about space is that nothing falls because everything is falling at the same time. Because the station is falling around the Earth, nothing falls relatively. So if I'm holding this pointer in microgravity and I let it go, it will stay here. It will not fall. But again, you have gone from Earth. So you are scared. If you let go of this will fall and break down. So in the initial few days, I remember if I had to leave something, I would search for someone else and I would ask them, can you please hold it for me? And if they were experienced astronauts who were already living on station for some time, they would actually laugh and they would tell me, Shuks, let it go. It is not going to fall. But interestingly, if I was asking the Polish or the Hungarian astronaut who were also flying with me for the first time, they would hold it. Because their minds are also working the same way that mine is. And so they would hold it and they would be floating in the air while but you see, it is suspended, doesn't fall.
आप किसी भी चीज को निकाल के ऐसे ही छोड़ सकते हैं.
After about a week or so, you become really comfortable with this concept of leaving things in the environment of microgravity. Then you are leaving 10 different things, you are doing your work, you are collecting things, putting them in the bag. It becomes kind of second nature. The problem happens, you come back to Earth. So when you come back to Earth, the memories travels with you when you are back on the planet. And I remember it was the first day after splashdown. I was sitting on my bed and I was replying to a lot of emails. There were so many of them, I got frustrated at one point of time, closed my laptop, took it to the side, and I left it. Very hard lesson learned that day. But the idea is that, your mind is really a very, very powerful tool. It can make you believe into your own reality, even when we are on Earth. If you want to achieve something, if you want to accomplish something, if you can convince your brain, if you can convince your mind that this is what I want to do, no matter what, you will find a way. That is how powerful it is. Use it to your own advantage, I would say. So this next thing that I want to share with you is very, very interesting. It's the concept of weightlessness that we have in space. There is no weight. Everyone weighs zero. You are zero, I am zero. Everything on station is zero. And it is because of this, we were able to make the International Space Station. The International Space Station, in total, the mass is about 420 tons. And it was built over a period of 10 years plus. But it is possible for us to lift the heaviest of objects with your hands. You can lift 1,000 kgs with your hand. It is possible. It is easy. And here in this video, you see my commander, Dr. Peggy Whitson, who was the NASA astronaut, who was our commander for the mission. And she's lifting this bag with so much of ease. You see how she's going to move it. But before I show you, she is the most experienced American astronaut today in terms of days spent in ISS or in space. She has spent about 695 days in space in total. That is the duration that she has. In fact, we used to joke with her that she has broken the record of many of the satellites that have been launched to space. And probably we should name a few orbits on her name. But look at how easily she's able to move this bag. And I'll let you guess what is inside this bag, but look at how big it is. And how conveniently, comfortably she is able to move it around.
You have to be very careful, though, because you have to control the mass. So you don't move it too fast, because it can get away from you. What is it that we have in this bag, anyway? It's incredibly large.
Oh, wow.
You saw how interesting these things become. You try to play around and try to come up with ways of how to demonstrate these qualities or physical processes that we know change just because your environment has changed. Your body also undergoes a lot of changes when you reach there. All the blood from your legs, it shifts to your head. Your head actually becomes bigger. You can see on the image on the right, my head actually feels swollen up. Your heart actually reduces in size when you are in space because it doesn't have to work against the gravity. You become taller in space because your gravity is not pulling you down, so your spine kind of decompresses and you grow by a few inches when you are in space. You lose your muscle very quickly because you're not using it to counter the force of gravity. All of these changes happen in the first 4 or 5 days, and it is a challenging time for you to get adapted to this new environment, your new reality. While I was up there, I also took a lot of experiments with me, which I conducted, and they become very interesting because, like I said, everything changes. Everything, the behavior of water, the behavior of fire, everything changes in the environment of space. And I'll continue to talk while I play the video. You will see how water behaves in space. But because of this change in behavior of everyday, day-to-day phenomena that we experience on Earth, it gives you a lot of great insights as to how things can be developed for this new environment. And they have found a way back to humanity when we are doing these things on ground. Nothing settles. You see the water moving around like a blob or a bubble in space. Same happens with fire. Fire doesn't burn like a flame. It burns like a ball, a spherical ball. And all of this gives you great insights while you are doing these experiments in the environment of space. Actually speaking, when I saw this the first time, this was an epiphany that I had. When I saw a water bubble in space for the first time, and then I went and I gulped it, I realized why Bengalis say pani khabo for the first time. That was an epiphany that I had while I was in Spain. But while I was there for 20 days, we made a lot of mistakes. We learned from them. We moved on. There were astronauts with me, like I said, Dr. Peggy Whitson, who was such an experienced astronaut. She made mistakes, and she learned to move on. So the lesson that I want to give you from this phase of mission is resilience. The ability to learn from your failures and move forward. The ability to learn from your success and move forward. It has to be a continuous process, always. So this ability to move forward from your experiences and apply those learnings to what you're going to do next, I think is a key skill that should be applied at every stage, every step of your life. Before we knew it was time for us to come back, and then when you come back into the atmosphere. We talked about a bit in the previous session that how difficult it is. You slow down, you come back into the atmosphere, series of parachutes deploy, and then you splash down on planet Earth. But now when you splash down on planet Earth, your body is accustomed to the environment of space. So when you come back to Earth, you have to relearn how to live on Earth. It becomes a new environment. You cannot walk. You cannot sit down. You cannot lie down. It feels as if something is pulling on you. Actually, so much so that when we were returning and we started experiencing gravity or the acceleration, I remember I could feel the weight of my eyelids when I was opening my eyes. That is the difference that happens when you come back to the environment of gravity again. So this is a video of me which is about 3 hours post-splashdown. And this is something that we do regularly as a part of our medical evaluation. But you'll find me struggling to do it here. It is only because your body is used to a different reality now, a different place, So when you come back, it becomes very challenging for you. I would also like to make a comment to all the people who are sitting here. We are in Mumbai. I'm pretty sure this would be a common phenomenon on weekends when police is trying to stop you on roads and telling you to walk in a straight line. But this is not the same thing. It's a very different experience that you have because your orientation triad that you have, the balance system that you have, it is used to a different place, and you come back to a different place, and it has to reorient and account for that vector of gravity which was absent for you for the past 20 days. Where are we today? I traveled to space last year for a period of 20 days, but I did that as a part of a bigger mission, which is Mission Gaganyaan, that we are pursuing today. And that is to launch astronauts from Indian soil on an Indian launch vehicle, on an Indian capsule, very soon. We are also working on making our own space station, which is the Bharti Yantrik Station, that is being worked upon right now. And then, as per our space policy, we also have a vision to land an Indian on the moon by 2040. So when we talk about these ambitions, these dreams, and these goals, then I can tell you from experience, when you travel to the environment of space, when you reach an environment where there are a lot of unknown unknowns, things that you don't know, you need a very different skill set. You need a very different preparation. So we need to fundamentally change and prepare our kids today to deal with these unknown unknowns that they are going to experience in the future. And while I may be referring to space in particular, in general, life is such today. We don't know what is going to happen 5 years from now. We don't know what technology would be dominating us 5 years from now. We don't know how the world will look 5 years from now. And we are teaching students today in classrooms, preparing them for such a world. So essentially what you need to arm them with is the right set of skills, with the right set of mindset that they need to have to deal with these unknown unknowns as they step out into the future. Okay, this is my last slide, and I will take you to a bit of history before I show you this last video that I have. 1984 was the year when the first Indian astronaut traveled to space. And during his stay in space, there was an iconic conversation that happened wherein the then Prime Minister asked him, "Upar se Bharat kaisa dikhta hai?" Do you know the answer? Yes, so he said, "Sare jahan se acha." And you know, I think all of us know that it has been more than 40 years that he said that, but we still remember it today. So much so that when I spoke to him, you know, when I was traveling, I used to interact with Sir. And when I used to speak to him, I used to tell him, "Sir, you made my life so difficult. You said something so profound in your time. I am struggling for words. What should I say?" That can be, you know, said for decades. But I think that there is no need to replace what he said. It still holds that same aspirational value that it had 40 years ago. Instead, what I would like to do is show you how India looks from space. That is my last video to you. And we will look at, if you can dim these lights, it will be great. So the video that you see, the screen that you see, the green glow, that is Earth. Can we completely dim this because it's a dark video? Thank you. So the green glow that you see, that is the curvature of the Earth. Anything below is the Earth. Anything on top of that is the sky or the stars that you will see. You will see flashes of purple lights, which are lightning that are happening on ground. And we will come from south to north. I will point out Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, you will be able to see. And then we'll look at Himalayas. And eventually you will look at a sunrise from space. So let us have a look. So these flashes that you see, these are the thunderstorms that are happening on ground. So this faintly dim portion that you see, this is the peninsular India. And this is Bangalore city that you see, bright one. On top of that is Hyderabad. On the left is Pune. And this is the central India. We are going towards northeast. You look at all the flashes that are happening. And already we are over the Himalayas. And this is the sunrise from space. I have very hastily tried to cover my presentation because of lack of time. But here I would like to take a minute to convey something to all of you. We are stepping into a future which is very different from what India was 10 years back. We will be into a very different future 5 years from now, and we can say the same statement, that 5 years ago India was very different. There are opportunities existing. There are opportunities that have to be created. And all of it starts with people who are sitting in classrooms today. So all of you who are sitting in this audience have a very, very big role to play. First, we have to give them the belief that things like these are possible. And second, we also have to make them believe that it is not an opportunity for them. It is a responsibility that they have to make it happen for us. If we want to be a developed nation by 2047, somebody has to do it. And that somebody is sitting in a classroom today. So it is all of our responsibility to give this confidence to them, to give this belief to them that these things are possible if they really aim for it, if they really work towards it. And with that, I would like to close out by giving a message that I gave when I was in orbit. Just one day prior, before coming back, you have a kind of press conference wherein you speak to the country. And I gave a long message, but at the end of it, what I wanted to tell them was this, that sky is not the limit. Not for me, not for you, and not for Bharat. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, for this very, very inspiring address. And thank you for reminding all of us in this room of something really important. Mundane is important to get to the important, and the importance of resilience as well. And that we truly never know how far a young person's potential can truly take them.
Thank you, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla. May I now request Mr. Ganesh Kohli to felicitate our keynote speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more quick round of applause for Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla. So while his journey reminds us that extraordinary possibilities that can emerge when young people are given the right guidance, encouragement, and opportunity, and that is exactly why the work we celebrate today matters so deeply. So moving on to the tradition that perfectly captures the spirit of the IC3 movement, one that celebrates the people and institutions quietly transforming lives every single day, the annual IC3 Awards.
Devesh, awards are often associated with achievements, but today they're really about impact, because behind every award we're about to present is a story.
These awards celebrate something that can't always be measured: trust, integrity, compassion, leadership, service, and an unwavering belief that guidance has the power to change lives.
Today's recipients have one thing in common. They have chosen to make students the center of every decision they make, and for that, they deserve to be celebrated.
And before we begin presenting this year's awards, we'd like to take a moment to recognize two award partners whose support has helped us make this celebration possible.
We extend our sincere thanks to our annual IC3 award partners, the University of Queensland and the Cambridge International Education.
Your partnership reflects a shared commitment to nurturing curiosity, expanding opportunities, and empowering students to make informed decisions with confidence. Here's a glimpse of our partner institutions.
At Cambridge, we believe education works best when curriculum, teaching and learning, resources and assessment are closely aligned. Encouraging curiosity, personal growth, and prioritising well-being. With our globally trusted and flexible framework for education, Cambridge schools can use our international education programmes, qualifications and resources to build an education that meets their needs, ready to shape the future. Ready for the world.
Where will your future find you? At the University of Queensland, we bring together everything you need to be knowledgeable, curious, and connected with the world. Here you'll find a global top 50 university where world-renowned researchers dare to imagine in Australia's fastest growing city. Your time is now. Find your place here at the University of Queensland, where your future finds you.
Thanks you once again to our award partners, the University of Queensland and the Cambridge International Education, and for their continued partnership and commitment to the IC3 movement. Would you please join me once again in thanking them?
Receiving an award is a moment of celebration, but selecting the recipients, that's where the real challenge begins.
Especially in a community like IC3, where excellence isn't the exception, it is the norm. Every nomination this year represented a story of dedication, innovation, and impact, and choosing among them was no easy task.
And behind every recipient announced this evening is a thoughtful and rigorous selection process, one guided by experience and integrity, and an unwavering commitment to recognizing talent.
Our sincere thanks goes out to the outstanding panel of jury members who generously gave their time, expertise, and thoughtful consideration to reviewing nominations from around the world. Their decisions reflect not only on excellence, but the values that define the IC3 movement, and we'd like to acknowledge our distinguished jury members.
We have, on the jury, we have Ms. Asta Chikara from the University of California, Riverside.
Mr. Charles Olindi from Agape International Academy of Hope, Cochin, Kerala.
Ms. Kshitija Singh from Wellams Girls School, India.
Ms. Pranoti Chitnis from Binghamton University, State University of New York.
Ms. Pragati Pandey, the Aga Khan Academy, Hyderabad.
And Ms. Savi Agarwal from Durham University, UK. To each one of you, thank you for your wisdom, your time, and your commitment to celebrating excellence with fairness and integrity.
Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished IC3 award jury. Let's give them the recognition they so richly deserve.
And now comes the moment we've all been waiting for.
Tonight we celebrate people whose work has transformed schools, inspired colleagues, strengthened institutions, and most importantly, changed the lives of students.
Every award tells a different story. A story of leadership, a story of courage, a story of believing that one conversation or one opportunity can change the course of a young person's future.
And to help us honor this year's recipients, we'd now like to invite our distinguished presenters on stage.
Please join us in welcoming Professor Rongyu Lee, Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Vice President Global Engagement from the University of Queensland, Australia.
And Mr. Rod Smith, Group Managing Director of International Education at Cambridge University Press and Assessment from Cambridge International Education.
Recognition has an extraordinary ripple effect. When we celebrate excellence, we inspire excellence. When we honor service, we encourage service. And when we recognize those who lead with purpose, we inspire others to do the same.
And that's exactly what this evening is all about, celebrating not only achievement, but the people whose passion and purpose continues to shape the future of education.
If trust is the foundation of counseling, then ethics are what holds everything together.
Named after the Bridget Herrera, a globally respected leader in ethical counseling practices, this award recognizes a counselor whose commitment to integrity and best fit guidance has set the example for the profession. The nominees for our first award for the evening, the Bridget Herrera Ethics in College Counseling Award. We have Ms. Vandana Murjani from Emerald Heights, Ms. Soma Dam from the Sun City School, Sarita Balanagar from Chirek International School, Deepthi Kevalramani from the Modern School Barakamba, and Ms. Padmaja Menon from Oberoi International School, Mumbai. May I now request our presenters to announce the award recipient. Yeah. Just a minute.
Hello? Great, wonderful. So, I'm really pleased to announce that the award, the Bridget Herrera Ethics in College Counselling Award, goes to Soma Dam.
Congratulations, Ms. Soma.
Let's continue to hear the chairs going. Come on, a big round of applause.
Bridget Herrera Ethics in College and Counseling Award, Ms. Soma Dham from the Sun City School.
Many congratulations again, Ms. Soma. Thank you for reminding all of us that doing the right thing is always the right way forward. Now moving on to our next award, which is the Counseling-Based Approach to Student Recruitment, University Leadership Impact Award. As someone who represents a university, this one feels particularly special. Universities have the extraordinary opportunity not simply to recruit students, but also to inspire them, to listen to them, and ultimately to help them find a place where they can truly thrive.
This award honors a university leader who has championed ethical recruitment, strengthened partnerships with schools, and advanced the role of counseling in higher education. And the nominees for this are
Mr. Sandeep Balla from Xavier University, Pravak Vyas from Waterloo University, Deepa Dudani from Queen's University, and Palak Bell from King's College London.
And may I now request our presenters to announce the award recipients.
So the award for the Counselling-Based Approach to Student Recruitment University Leadership Impact Award goes to Deepa Dodani.
Counseling-Based Approach to Student Recruitment Admissions Award to Ms. Deepa Dudani, Queen's University.
Congratulations, Deepa.
Congratulations again, Deepa. Thank you for demonstrating that leadership isn't about opening more applications, it's about opening more possibilities. And let's keep the applause going. Some achievements deserve more than a moment. They deserve our deepest gratitude, which brings us to the next award of the evening, the Counseling Mentor Award of the Year.
Every great counselor remembers someone who helped them become one, a mentor who saw potential before they saw it themselves. As a counselor myself, I know just how invaluable those mentors are. They don't just shape careers, they shape the confidence, character, and the kind of professionals we aspire to become.
And that's so true. Behind every confident profession is someone who took the time to guide them, someone who answered the question that seemed too small to ask, offering reassurance on a difficult day, or simply saying, "You've got this."
Because that's the wonderful thing about our profession. Counselors don't just guide students, they guide one another. This award recognizes an experienced counselor who has generously invested in the growth and development of fellow professionals. The nominees for this award category are Ms. Rita Balachandran from the JBCN International School, Borivali, Ms. Lakshmi Senthil from CS Academy, and Ms. Asma Ansari from Daily College, Indore.
May I request our presenters to present the award?
So the award for the Counselling Mentor of the Year goes to Rita Balachandran.
Congratulations, Rita. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Rita Balachandran from the JBCN International School, Borivali.
Congratulations once again, Ms. Rita Balachandran. We've just celebrated the mentors who generously invest their time in others, the ones who lift, guide, and inspire the next generation of counselors. And what a better way to honor their legacy than by celebrating someone who represents exactly the next generation, someone who may be early in their professional journey, but is still creating an impact and making a name for themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is the Emerging Counselor of the Year Award.
Every expert was once a beginner, and every experienced counselor remembers that very first student and that very first moment they realize this is exactly where I'm meant to be.
One of the greatest strengths of the IC3 movement is its ability to nurture and encourage new voices, professionals who bring fresh ideas, new perspectives, boundless enthusiasm, and an unwavering commitment to putting students first.
The Emerging Counselor of the Year Award recognizes a counselor with fewer than 3 years of experience who has demonstrated exceptional promise. May we now present the nominees for the same.
The Emerging Counselor of the Year Award nominees are Ms. Sheetal Alluri from Billabong High International School, Amona, Pune, Ms. Anshu Mittal from the Sri Ram School, Mulsari, Ms. Vedangi Rajakrishna from JBCN Borivali, Mumbai, and Ms. Simran Margot from DPS International, Saket, Delhi, NCR. Please give a huge round of applause to all our nominees.
May we now request our presenters to present this award.
Okay, so slightly unusual. The award for the Emerging Counselor of the Year Award goes to Simran Mago and Vedangini Rajkrishna.
Oh, wow!
Many congratulations to Ms. Simran Margot and Ms. Vedangini Rajakrishna for winning the Emerging Counselor of the Year Award. Have a big round of applause for our two winners.
Congratulations, Ms. Simran. Congratulations, Ms. Vedangini.
Many congratulations once again, Vedangini and Simran. Today marks an important milestone, but it's not only the beginning of what promises to be an inspiring journey. We look forward to watching your impact grow, your leadership evolve, and the many lives that you will touch in the years ahead. Congratulations once again.
You know, Devesh, sometimes one conversation changes everything. And I say this not as your MC this evening, but as a fellow counselor. I know the privilege and the responsibility of sitting across from a young person who's searching for answers, weighing difficult choices, or simply looking for someone who believes in them. Because sometimes we don't change a student's destination, we simply help them discover it.
A student walks in uncertain. They walk out believing in themselves, not because the answer was available, but because someone cared enough to ask them the right questions.
Our next award, the Counselor of the Year Award, recognizes a professional whose impact over the past year has strengthened the field of career and college counseling. The nominees for this category are Upasana Kinra from Indus International School, Bangalore, Zoya Qureshi from Delhi Public School, Arkipuram, Swati Vats from Lancer International School, Gurgaon.
May I request the presenters to present this award?
The award for the Counselor of the Year goes to Zoya Qureshi.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Zoya Qureshi is unable to join us today, but please give a big round of applause to her very successful win for the Counselor of the Year award.
People often ask me, what makes IC3 different?
I think the answer is actually standing right here on stage. It's the people who believe. The success that simply isn't measured by where the students go, but by whether they discover who they are, what they care about, and the path, if that is right for them.
And that belief begins with something fundamental, giving young people the space to explore, to ask questions, to discover possibilities, and to imagine a future that is truly their own.
Because the strongest schools don't simply prepare students for examinations, they prepare them for life. And that brings us to our next award for tonight, the Ganesh Kohli Counseling Laboratory Award.
The Ganesh Kohli Counseling Laboratory Award recognizes a school that has embraced counseling not as a destination or a department, but as a culture. Named after the founder of the IC3 movement, this award celebrates schools that have brought the counseling laboratory philosophy to life, creating environments where guidance is embedded into everyday learning. And the nominees for this category are
the Delhi Public School, Faridabad, Upanyala School, Doba, Rosary School, Seth Anandram Jaipuria School, Kanpur, and the Silver Oak International School, Oakdale, Vakkapalli, Hyderabad. A big round of applause for all our nominees.
May I request our presenters to present this award.
So the award for the Ganesh Kohli Counseling Laboratory Award goes to Seth Anandram Jaipuria School, Kanpur.
For the Ganesh Kohli Counseling Laboratory Award to the Seth Anandram Jaipuria School, Kanpur. Many congratulations again to our winners. Now moving on, I would like to introduce you to a very special award. Every profession has pioneers, people who influence extends far beyond their own careers. People who don't simply do just the work, they shape the profession itself.
And this award honors someone whose impact has been measured not in years, but in generations of students whose lives have been changed through guidance, compassion, unwavering commitment to career counseling. Named in the honor of Molly Abraham, this award celebrates a professional whose work has helped shape the field itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Molly Abraham Lifetime Achievement Award. May I request our presenters to present this award.
So the award, the Molly Abraham Lifetime Achievement Award, goes to Usma Ansari.
Achievement Award.
Congratulations, Ms. Ansari. again, your legacy isn't measured by the number of years you've served, but by the countless futures you've helped shape. But before we conclude the annual IC3 Awards, there is one final recognition, one that holds a very special place within this movement, the Celebrated Service Award.
Some people volunteer because they are asked, others volunteer because they believe.
Year after year, they quietly give their time, their expertise, their encouragement, not for recognition, but because they care deeply about the students they've never even met.
The Celebrated Service Award honors individuals who have dedicated years of volunteer service to advancing the mission of IC3 and bringing counseling to every school. It is a celebration of generosity, commitment, and the spirit that has helped this movement grow. We may now request you to announce this year's winner.
So the award for celebrated service goes to Shivanji Punchal.
Is Shivangi Panchal from the Ahmedabad International School receiving the Celebrated Services Award. Truly well-deserved honor, Ms. Panchal. Your service reminds us that movements aren't built by a single individual. They're built by people who quietly choose to contribute again and again and again. Thank you for helping shape the IC3 community that we celebrate today.
Congratulations once again, Shivangi ma'am. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Rod Smith. Thank you so much, Mr. Ronguli, for joining us on stage to present these awards.
Can we have a big round of applause for our presenters, please?
And at this moment, we'd like to share one exciting opportunity with everyone here. Over the past 10 years, IC3 has grown into a truly global community of educators, counselors, school leaders, and university partners, all united by one shared mission, counseling and well-being in every school.
If you'd like to continue being a part of the journey long after the conference ends, we invite you to become a member of the IC3 Institute. Membership gives you access to a vibrant global network, professional learning opportunities, exclusive resources, and the opportunity to participate in the Institute's no-cost training program, Embark, Empower, and Enrich.
You can sign up at the IC3 Institute's membership activation stations or at the IC3 Pavilion after the closing plenary.
And next, I would like to invite a very special person on stage, the driving force behind the IC3, Ritika Singh, the Executive Director of the IC3 movement. She leads the global initiative to expand access to quality career and college counseling by fostering collaboration across academia, industry, and policy.
Thank you, everyone. And Shikha and Devesh, you did a stellar job. The only part of the script that I didn't see was this, but thank you. As we come to the close of this conference, I find myself thinking, not just about the last 2 days, but about the decade. 10 years ago, we were still making a case that counseling belonged to schools and emotional well-being was not something separate from education, but a part of the foundation on which learning takes place. Today, the conversation has changed. Not because we found the answers, but just because of something the opposite, and that is we've continued to learn. We've continued to challenge, we've continued to question our assumptions, listen to experiences, and humanize the conversation of counseling. I'm going to take 10 seconds and share a beautiful idea that I read in the holy book of the Shiv Puran, which talks about knowledge. And it says that knowledge leads us towards a realization. Knowledge by itself is accumulation, and learning is transformation, something which is also from the ethos of what IC3 does. I won't take very long, but at this moment, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to this community. I'd like to say thank you to each one of you who've been here, not just for the 2 days of the conference, but around the year. Thank you. To our host schools who did more than just opening their doors, they created a space in which conversations became a lived experience. To our educators and counselors, and congratulations to the winners, who've taken the ideas beyond the conference into the complexity of everyday life. I can completely imagine how much work has gone in. To our strategic partners, those who are here and at the Expo as well, thank you. Thank you for bringing your expertise. Thank you for being here. Thank you for co-creating. Thank you for just being there with us, believing in us, and getting that knowledge into being. So as I walk out of these doors tonight, I don't see the end of a 10-year journey. I see the start of a new era, where together we will bring counseling and well-being to every school. Thank you for your trust, your partnership, your generosity, your belief, and thank you for giving each one of us the privilege to learn alongside you. We also would like to welcome all of you together to the Student and Parent Conference now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ritika. As we look ahead to the next chapter of the IC3 movement, there is one thing we know for certain. The conversation doesn't end when this conference does.
And as we move on, we'd like to celebrate 10 years of impact. We are delighted to announce something we're really looking forward to in 2027, the IC3 Regional Camp. And this time, we're taking the IC3 community back to school. The regional camp will be held at the O.P. Jindal Global University, Haryana, on the 22nd and 23rd of January 2027.
So mark your calendars, O.P. Jindal Global University, Haryana. We hope to see you there.
And before we bring the incredible conference to a close, we have one more really exciting piece of news for you. Over the years, IC3 has traveled across India, bringing together educators, counselors, institutions, and chain makers in cities that represent this incredible diversity and ambition of the country. And now it's time to return to the capital.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the annual IC3 Conference and Expo 2027 is moving back to Delhi. So Mumbai, thank you for an unforgettable IC3. And Delhi, get ready to welcome the IC3 community home. We'll see you in Delhi in 2027.
Yeah. And before you leave this room, the IC3 mobile app will remain active for the next couple of weeks. So this is your chance to continue the conversations you've started here. Keep exploring the app and keep making those connections.
And now, as we truly come to an end, we want to say thank you to our speakers for sharing your knowledge and your stories, our university partners for believing in the mission, to our counselors, educators, and school leaders for the work you do every single day, and to our students and parents. A very important piece of news, we have the IC3 Student and Parent Conference, which has just begun, and I wouldn't miss this opportunity to meet so many universities under one roof. And the incredible IC3 team and volunteers who have worked behind the scenes to bring these 2 days to life. Thank you very much.
And again, as we've shared, there's the Expo that is happening, which is a parent-student conference that's happening next door. So please don't forget to go ahead and meet with all the universities that have come here. In addition to that, we do have a parent session that will happen at 6:45 p.m. So do mark that in your schedule and do go ahead and meet with all the universities as well. And in conclusion, till we see you again, stay connected, stay curious, and keep changing lives. Thank you, everyone, and wishing you a fabulous evening ahead.
Thank you so much.